Yes, Union Review 91. The album is an unofficial Yes release, a recording from a performance of Yes performing on the Union Tour live 1991. It was originally made for a video broadcast called Around the World in 80 Dates that documented a little part of Yes's Union Tour. The Union Tour was a really fantastic tour for a problematic Yes album. I mean, of all the Yes albums that I've covered, I've written about this elsewhere, Union may not be the worst Yes album, but it's definitely the most problematic. Because in the late 80s, by the late 80s, there were really two factions of Yes. There was the 90125 Trevor Rabin assisted Yes. And then there was a little more classic group that was made up of Answer, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. These bands coexisted. So the idea was in 1991, these two bands would get together and make this Union album, an 8-piece version of Yes. But the album itself never really lived up to this promise. It was kind of this patchwork of half-finished things with studio musicians coming in and filling in other parts behind the scenes. And although it had some really great tracks on it, its status as a Yes album is, I say again, problematic. But as I said, the tour was a fantastic thing. To have all these really tasteful musicians out on the stage and working with each other to complement each other as much as they could was really fantastic. And I saw the show, the Union Tour, and for me, it was one of the most memorable Yes shows I ever saw. Certainly, John Anderson at the center of this, it was like in hog heaven. To see this kind of finally fully realized orchestral version of Yes, I think was a long-term dream of his. And I think really the album does capture this. The sound quality at the beginning of it is a little bit sketchy until the sound kind of gets itself under control. But really, it's a pretty decent snapshot of what Yes was doing on that tour, on that date, at that time, which is the beauty of a bootleg. Bootlegs are imperfect documents that nonetheless preserve the fleeting nature of a live performance. And although when I saw Yes on this tour, it was one of probably the most cosmic experiences I saw, recordings very rarely capture this. It helps to actually watch the video footage of this so you can see the group interact, but you really have to be a devoted Yes fan to be able to parse through those interactions with just a recording. And although, as I said, I don't really get into bootlegs very often, I can definitely start to see the appeal of how, seeing how a band does a performance night after night and seeing how it changes on different occasions can be really appealing to the devoted Yes fan. And because it's on this Union Tour, it's a very interesting mix of songs. It's a cool mix, I think, of the really classic work with, I've Seen All Good People and Yours Is No Disgrace, but also Owner of a Lonely Heart with the Rick Wakeman solo at the end of it, and Changes is on there. The one track on there that feels a little bit out of place was the song Shock to the System, which they saw as one of their better songs from the Union album, and it is one of the better songs from the Union album, but it sticks out here, I think, in comparison to the other really more classic work from the band. So I would say that Union Review 91 is not a definitive Yes work, but it really is an intriguing footnote for the band.